In today's video, we're going to be wrapping up the Scarlet and Violet illustration rare tier list by doing some final readjustments. This is a video where I have absolutely no idea how long it will be, probably definitely not as long as the other videos in the series have been, but there are definitely some cards that I want to shift around, and I think I'm going to go from the bottom-ish kind of area to the top, just to see if I have anything really important to move around. Some things to note about the tier list. Also, by the way, if you haven't been following along, I do have a playlist for all of the Scarlet and Violet 2025 rankings on my channel. So if you're interested in all those, they start from the special illustration rares and they go through all these videos in the series. So yeah, if you're interested in that, then go check that out. And I'm Daunter. I'm trying to get to 800 subscribers, and we're 719, which is almost 20%, which is almost 100% if you really think about it. But yeah, subscription would be great. It's only a click away, and it'll keep you posted on all of my content. I talk about Pokemon card artists, and yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to waste a bunch of time. Let's just get straight into it. Now, the thing is like I don't have to pull up like every single individual illustration rare because I already ranked all of them, so I don't think that'll be necessary for this video, and I think that'll make it a lot shorter, right? Yeah, so like I said, starting at our bottom tier. Some things that I want to change around. I mean, the D tier is pretty fine. Something that I will say is that I think the Tornadus is probably one that I was really on the fence of whether I should keep it in like the C tier or kind of switch it down to the D tier. And I think at the end of the day, I did finally end up deciding on the C tier or the D tier placement for the card, as I just felt like I didn't really, feel super strongly about it. Obviously it's really hard to rank everything in C tier is not particularly ranked exactly like in place of like where it should be. So I want to try to like kind of rectify that. I think that the evolution cards are a little bit too low in C tier, so I'm going to put both of them up a little bit higher, both around like the top of C tier. I do like them, but I don't like them like enough to keep them at the very top. Some ones that I particularly don't care for too much are the Appleton, and especially the Flapple. I actually think that I'm going to move the Flapple down to D tier as well. I really do care for Uninori's style, but I just don't really personally care for this card all too much. And that's just my personal preference talking. This Rend card can move up a little bit. The Reuniclus can move up a little bit. I think the Crabominable is probably near like the bottom of C tier if I really had to say. So is the Fione. I think that the Pikachu Gray Felt Hat was treated a little bit too harshly. I'm going to put it at the top of C tier. I think this one, what is its name? The little iron elephant guy. That one is a little bit too low. I think that the Golurk is a little bit too high. And then so was the Garbodor. This was too high as well. I'm going to put it right here. I think that this was a little bit too low. I think that this is a little bit too high for sure. I think I'm going to probably put it like near the bottom, right next to the Crabominable here. This one is a little bit too, this one is a little bit too, that's the thing about this, it's just like kind of hard to say like what is too low, what is too high. I'm probably not going to change around these too much. I'm not going to just be like sitting here like individually ranking every single one, but already we've gotten 2 new cards added to the D tier. And I'm just going to do one more little sweep and see if there's any other cards from the C tier that I would move down to the D tier. Doing one more little sweep, I would say that there's not really any other ones that like glaringly strike out as ones that I particularly don't like that much. So I think, adding 2 cards to the D tier and shifting it around a little bit is perfectly fine. As we move on to the B tier, there are definitely some shifts that I would like to make in this tier. I think that the Thundurus was treated a little bit too harshly. I want to move it up to B+ tier. I do really like that card a lot. Honestly, I think that, where did I put the... I put the Magneton in B+. I'm probably going to move that up to at least A+. Or A, I suppose. I do really like that card. I think it was treated a little bit too harshly. I think a lot of these Pikachu promos are pretty alright, but I would probably move them down to B tier. Just because B+ is reserved for ones that I like personally really like. I'm going to move this one down as well. That one's also B tier. I also really like the Pawniard illustration rare, so I wanted to move that one up to B+ tier. I'm just trying to like search through here and see if there's any I would like really want to shift around. Not really. I think that a lot of these are like ending up in like that B tier in like my head here. I can't really think of a whole ton of the other ones. I think that the Apom, it deserves to be in B+ tier. It is a really cute looking card. I'm a big fan of it, honestly. And I think I was just like a little bit harsh on it at first. Oh, the Quaxley and Quackleval, or Quaxley, they're gonna move down to C tier. I think that was like pretty much a. This one as well, the Zorua. That one was also gonna move down to C tier. So is the Belly Bolt. And the Archon is also going to move down to C tier. The Crustle is going to move down to like low C tier. I think that the Leavanny is also going to move down to C tier. Yeah, see a lot of shifts already. We're really like kind of shifting through this. The Scrafty is going to move down to C tier. I think the Volibee is going to move down to C tier. I do really like that card, but I think I'm just going to have to shift it down, unfortunately. I think I'm going to move the Chinchino and the Minchino up to B+ tier. I think that they were a little bit too low, because I actually do really like those cards. The way the connectors is very, very nice. Like, you can still definitely tell that it's just two really nice illustrations. In terms of cards that need to move down from B+ tier, I think there's a lot of really, really good cards in B+ tier. There's not really a lot that I would move down, per se. Looking at the list, I mean, there's not really like a single one that stands out to me as like a little bit too highly rated. Maybe the Tropius should be down in B tier. I do really like that card, but I'm just gonna put it down in B tier. So same with the Rufflet here. The Simi, what's his name? The Simi Sage, Pan Sage. That guy, Pan Sage, is gonna move down a little bit. Yeah, I think that, and the Dolliv is also gonna move down to B tier. Actually, I think I'm gonna move the Dolliv down to C tier. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And then the Snorunt's also going to move down. The Larvitar is also going to move down. And that kind of clears up our B tier, B+ tier quite a significant amount. And so is the Minchino, that's his name. Tirtuga is going to move down as well. Yeah, I think that's about it. This tier is pretty good, all things considered. The Quaxley promo is going to move down as well. So is the Palafin, actually. Sorry, I know that I'm like kind of shifting these around a lot. For the A tier, there's definitely a lot of cards in A tier, and I think I want to move some of them down, but not a bunch. I think the Garganacl is going to move down to B+ tier. I do really like the card, but I'm just going to shift it down just a little bit. I like the Pheasantipity, but I'm going to move it down. Same thing with the Cloth. I think that the Snorlax is going to move down as well. This is just tough. Like I'm finding it kind of hard to talk while I'm doing this. The Ammonite is moving down. The Tyranitar is moving down a little bit. The Relicanth is moving down a little bit. The Gengar one is moving down a little bit, like the Pikachu Gengar promo. The Dino, moving it down a little bit. Where'd I put Oshawott? I feel like I put Oshawott pretty low last video. Yeah, I put it in B tier. I think it's at least like A tier. I definitely was a little bit too harsh on that card. That one's really, really nice. I think that I was a little bit too harsh on some of the other cards in the video too. Like, there's a lot in B tier that I would probably shift up a little bit. Like, I do really like this Zorua card. I think I'm going to put it in B+. I think that no. Zero is fine. Nacli is going to move down to B+ tier. I'm actually going to move the Nacli down to B tier. Screamtail is going to move down to B+. So is Noctowl and Bramblin. Oh, sorry, this is A+, whatever, the same thing. A tier. Brodel is going to move down to B+. Bostiff is going to move down to B+. Man, there's a lot of really good ones in A tier, actually. It's really hard to say whether I should move them up or down or leave them where they are or whatever. I really like a lot of these ones. I think I'm actually okay with a lot of these placements, honestly. I think every single one that's in A tier deserves to be in A tier to some extent, except for maybe the Toedscroll. I'd probably move it down just like one tier. Yeah, the thing is just like, it's just a stylistic thing, so it's like it's not like objective, it's just subjective, like it's whatever you like. I'm moving the Caterpie down a little bit as well. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think that was a pretty significant change. As for cards that I want to move like up a tier, I would say like the only ones that I want to move up a tier is like the Samurott. Maybe the Heracross too. That one's really, really nice. Definitely deserves to be a little higher than it was. A plus. There's a lot of stuff in A plus tier. There's a lot of stuff that deserves to be in A plus tier, but I'm just seeing if I can weed out anything that maybe doesn't deserve. Not doesn't deserve, but it's just like just things that I would like to shift down just like a tier. That's the thing though. It's just like there's so many good cards in A plus tier. It's like really, really hard to say whether I should move them down at all. I'm honestly pretty happy with A plus. For the most part. I think the only one that I moved down is like maybe the Gloom to A tier. No, the Gloom deserves to be an A plus tier for sure. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Frigoraph definitely deserves it. Maybe the LGM I can move it down to A tier. I think the Masakotomi card, the Gloom, is a little bit better. Yeah, I'm okay with that. 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 I love Gigalith, but I think I'm going to move him down to A tier. Fido, same thing. I'm going to move it down to A tier. Same thing with the Riolu as well. It's really, really tough. The Bulbasaur, I do like it, but I think I'm going to move it down to A tier. Fluttermane is going to move down as well. I'm okay with all these, I think. I'm going to move the Plus Ultimate Minun down to A tier, though. Teal Mask is going to move down as well. I think if I had to pick one to move up, I'd probably pick the Minior. And yeah, I think that's like the only one that I would really shift around a little bit. I think for the most part I'm okay with this. I'm just going to move the Slowpoke down as well, actually. Rhydon and Koraidon both deserve to be there. Maybe Cyclizar can move it down to A tier. No, Cyclizar's fine there. That's about it, honestly. This is a really, really stupid short video. I'm sorry if this is really dumb. I'm moving the Whirlipede up to A tier. I don't care. I love that card. Yeah, this is a silly video. I mean, it's not super, super long or anything. There's like not really a whole ton of stuff that I wanted to change in this list because I think overall I did a pretty good job of like expressing like how I felt about everything. Except for Rizzion, you're gonna go down a C tier. I'm sorry. So are you, Simi Siege. You know what? There's some other changes that I want to make before I wrap this up. There's a couple changes that I want to make. So I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm sorry. This is really stupid. It's a very short video. Yeah, you can move down to Contney. That's cute. I like that card. This one is gonna move down Swadloon. Iron Bundle. I think I'm gonna move it down like near the bottom of C tier. I kind of didn't really. Same thing with Slithering. Cramorant is also going to move down to C tier. Flamigo is also going to move down to C tier. And so is Palpitoad. Yeah, that definitely buffs up our... I think we definitely shifted down a little bit. Obviously, there's still a lot of cards in like the higher tiers, but that's the thing is like there's a lot of really, really good. I mean, that's just the thing. Is like even though C tier is like pretty heavily populated, B tier, B plus, A plus, like those are the tiers where you want cards to be in. Like, and I think C tier cards are still really good. Like even if a C tier is like a 7 out of 10 illustration rare, or like a 7.5 or whatever, however you want, I would say like D tier is like a 6.5 or a 6. C tier is like a 7 to a 7.5. B tier is like an 8. B plus tier is an 8.5. A tier is a 9. A plus tier is a 9.5. And then S tier is a 10. 10 out of 10, right? And that's just how I think my list kind of goes here. So yeah, I think even though it's in C tier, like a lot of cards are in C tier, that could still be, you know, anywhere from the range to a 7 to a 7.5. And that's the thing, is like there's just a lot of really good cards in the Scarlet and Violet era. You really can't go wrong with any of them. Yeah, wonderful. And that's the end of the video. I think this was a really, really silly idea to like really shift things around. And I didn't really even do any insanely crazy shifts or anything. But I think that just goes to show you just like overall the illustration rares in the Scarlet and Violet era are pretty like solid. Like I think that it's really, really hard for me to say like every single one that I hate, because I don't hate any, you know, I love every single one of them. So it's really hard for me to like pick and choose like which ones I really want to move up and move down. Just in terms of like, I don't know, there's just a lot of really, really cool ones, so it's kind of hard for me to just be like, I don't like this one, I like this one. Also, the Magneton's moving up to A plus tier. Yippee. Moved all the way from B plus up to A tier, A plus, sorry. So that's a pretty big shift for that card specifically. Yeah, anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Like I said, trying to get to 800 subscribers pretty soon here. I think we could do it. I think we could probably do it for sure. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. See you next time. Bye.